flips the conversation. He goes, I've noticed a little thing between you and Brett.
What?
Nothing.
No matter what happens, I want you all to stay together, and I want you to do what you need to do to get out of here. Don't worry about me. Help as you can if you can. But mostly worry about yourselves, okay?
I'm not leaving you alone. You can do this.
If anything happens, I want to know that you will be okay.
I'll be safe.
Actually, he flips the conversation. He goes, I've noticed a little thing between you and Brett.
What?
Nothing.
No matter what happens, I want you all to stay together, and I want you to do what you need to do to get out of here. Don't worry about me. Help as you can if you can. But mostly worry about yourselves, okay?
I'm not leaving you alone. You can do this.
If anything happens, I want to know that you will be okay.
I'll be safe.
conversation. He goes, I've noticed a little thing between you and Brick.
What?
Nothing.
No matter what happens, I want you all to stay together, and I want you to do what you need to do to get out of here. Don't worry about me. Help as you can if you can. But mostly worry about yourselves, okay?
I'm not leaving you alone. You can do this.
If anything happens, I want to know that you will be okay.
I'll be safe.
Actually, he flips the conversation. He goes, I've noticed a little thing between you and Brick.
What?
Nothing.
No matter what happens, I want you all to stay together, and I want you to do what you need to do to get out of here. Don't worry about me. Help as you can if you can. But mostly worry about yourselves, okay?
I'm not leaving you alone. You can do this.
If anything happens, I want to know that you will be okay.
I'll be safe.
noticed a little thing. It's when you had bread.
What?
Nothing.
No matter what happens, I want you all to stay together, and I want you to do what you need to do to get out of here. Don't worry about me. Help as you can if you can. But mostly worry about yourselves, okay?
I'm not leaving you alone. You can do this.
If anything happens, I want to know that you will be okay.
I'll be safe.
Okay. All right, we ready to start this thing up? I was kind of like looking back on my recapped notes for the session prior, and like the first 3/4 of it, pretty short. Not a whole lot happened in the morning. Then I got to the point where you guys found the wreckage, and it just says they're fucked. And then I had a countdown timer of when Barnabas was going to intercept you guys, and I was like, this would be about the time that he intercepted, and I'm like, okay, if they're not finished with this in 15 rounds, he's gonna show up. And sure enough, 15 rounds later, and then I just put in my notes, yeah, double fucked. So anyway,
you're doing fine. It's the battle started out well.
Yeah, until Cha got swallowed by sand,
which was immediately.
But nevertheless, last session, you guys had gotten done with the dinner party at Balar's homestead with Rashi's. We'll go ahead and call them both parents. And when sleep was finally had, as you guys left and went back up to your original disc at the all-white fluffy Pegasus, when sleep was finally had for the group and morning came, the group got their things together, horses, and made their last-minute adjustments before taking their laid plans and heading towards the coast. On their way to the port to get the boat connection that Belar had told them about before, they came across a wrecked ship and decided to investigate, as this group does. Once inside, they came under fire from 2 seaweed entities, and things were not going very well. But things were getting close to being a little precarious when someone special showed up, Barnabas. He disappeared the 2 creatures and separated the group so they were no longer drowning. As everyone was coming to recollection of what had just happened, they all rise to see Barnabas walking towards them, saying that it's time for a little chat. And that's where we resume.
And we're all outside of the shipwreck, right?
Yes, with him separating the front half of the ship away from the back half, The water current has basically washed everyone out in slightly different directions, but you guys are all out of the wreckage at this moment.
Kaporn's on first, right?
Yeah, you saw him when he first arrived. As you were kind of like face to the side, like the water just streaming, you're just like, and then you kind of open an eye and you just see this red-horned individual over by the horses.
Rashi would have no idea who this person is because she's never seen him before.
Which I was just gonna stay laying there for a little bit and catch a breath or two.
Kaporn's gonna, as you realize Richard's just kind of like laying there, he's gonna heal Richard before like a smack to the head kills him.
Yeah, if you didn't do it, Rashi would have.
Yeah, I think I'll hand the cure as well.
I'm not that close to death.
Aren't you at
Kaporin,
1 HP?
Yes.
Oh, Kaporn.
Kaporin, as you go to push your healing into Racha, you're just not feeling the same magical energy that you're used to. And so you finish the verbal and the somatic components to what you're doing and release, and nothing happens.
Kaporn. I'm just kind of standing there. It's like that on and off switch is like trying to knock my hand. It's like, hello? Hello?
Rashi and Nori, as you guys both try your styles of healing, you do everything as you've done before, and nothing seems to push out from you. You feel as if there's no connection. There's something is magically, you're not feeling the connection to the tapestry of magic that you used to pull the power from. Just something's cutting you off.
Can I make like an Arcana check? Like, is it coming from Barnabas? Is that why we can't use magic?
I mean, he doesn't cast a spell or anything like that, so you're not sure. I mean, Arcana-wise, you just know that your magic's not working. You saw Barnabas do some magic, so possibly maybe just healing magic's not working. If you were proficient in Arcana, I would say maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I only have Jack of all trade, but Kaporn kind of like confused. Is I know Barnabas is standing right there. But like Kaporn's like now physically confused. Like, why can't my magic work? He's gonna try to cast dancing lights. It's like just in his palm said no.
Nope. You cast dancing lights, and again, no connection to the magical tapestry. Barnabas is standing there, no longer in the pinstripe suit. He's wearing what seems to be not tight, but very well sized pants. And he's wearing a type of top that, and I'll explain it. I'm going to show my emo side for a moment. You guys, My Chemical Romance, Black Parade. It's that style of top. I forgot what the actual name for that type of top is. But it's that
Emo? Just an emo top?
No, the one
No,
where the
like-
buttons are on the side and it like folds over the chest.
Yeah, like the Beatles. I think it's just a
Oh, like a-
double-breasted suit.
Yeah, like a
Something like that.
like a double-breasted military style kind of jacket.
It's not any military that I know, but it's that.
Well, that's what I said, military style.
Yeah, it's that. It's with the trim. So it's a dark blue main color with a blood red trim around the outside of it, and the buttons are also blood red. But he stands there and kind of just, interestingly enough, has his tail in his hand and is kind of just spinning it like a chain. You kind of look at him, and since that's the only thing really moving, your eyes kind of get drawn towards the tail, and you would honestly, it creates that distortion, not only of something moving quickly, where it looks like it's in multiple places at once, but that when you're looking at pavement or like a road like a mile off and you get that heat distortion effect in the air, that's coming off of the tail.
Ooh, he hot.
So he's just sitting there and waiting for you all to finish spattering and sputtering as, you know, a lot of you are waterlogged. Bryn especially was submerged the longest in water, Rachai in sand. But he gives you all a moment to compose yourselves to a degree. Doesn't want to have to repeat himself.
Yeah, Brim would get up and help anybody else who needs help getting up, and then head over to him.
I mean, Rashi would get up and then like have her weapon and shield drawn because she doesn't know who the fuck this is. It could be an enemy.
As soon as Bryn says that, put it away, Rashi.
Bryn, funny enough, though you were just submerged, as you stand up out of the water, you're completely dry. And there is a weird heat coming from your chest over a certain tattoo.
Kaporin's gonna start and greet Barnabas. It's like, well, hello, Barnabas. Kind of like with a short, like, graceful bow. It's like, oh, I'm sorry that I haven't seen you in a while, but
Hello, Kaporin. We'll wait for your friends to at least stand up. Mainly looking at probably Rachel, who's just like...
Yeah, he's probably like... He won't get all the way up. He'll sit up probably after he catches his breath, but he's pretty lightheaded right now.
Noticing that he's still down, because she really hasn't seen him most of this goddamn fight. She'll go over and like pick him up to bring him over to that area, just so he's not stranded.
His fireman carries him.
I feel like she'd be a little bit more gentle, but
Yeah, straight newborn baby.
Baby bird.
He starts making baby noises, like that he's seen, that he's heard, I'm sure, somewhere in town.
No, I was just gonna go straight for the pigeon coo. Ooh, ooh. It's Rachar's version of purring.
And then he says under his breath, like, so that only Bryn can hear him, and say, "Do I have to call you Dad now?" In Rashi's voice.
no.
It's called Daddy.
Please no.
Followed by, who's your?
I cannot be both parents in this group, people. I cannot be both.
I mean,
Hey, you really
lots
want
of single
Kaporin?
parents do it in real life all the time.
do you really want Kaporin to be the fatherly figure or Rachel? Come on. I mean, Nori could.
Rachar's got to learn sometime.
He's a soon-to-be, so yeah, there's something's got to take.
All right. So as Rashi, you get stood down by Bryn to at least a non-hyper-aggressive level. You probably would still have your weapon and shield out, but maybe not in a I'm gonna kill you right now at the moment.
I lowered them down, but they're not put away. She still doesn't know who this is. Just Bryn told her to stand down.
Yeah. And as you all sort of coalesce out of the drenched portions of the sand here, over towards Barnabas, who hasn't come down from that little 15-foot ledge. He's keeping it back, but just kind of looking over the group. Well, all right then. I was wondering what was taking you all so long.
We apologize. We had our hands tied for a bit.
Oh, yes. I see. You like to tangle yourselves in with interesting creatures. But it goes to show, possibly, why things might take a little bit longer that you're propriety to. Makes more sense now why it took so long for you to finally get down here. Do you guys always like to go off the beaten trail?
We try not to.
He knows why we were delayed, doesn't he? With the whole Caparin was in the infirmary for 2 months and stuff.
Yep.
It just still took us longer than he probably expected even after that because of how we traveled and then the bullshit we went through.
Yeah, because he gave you guys the job, and then you guys immediately interacted with JJ. So he was like, "Oh, I'll give them this job to go down there, and they'll be done within 2 weeks." Or
2
not.
months later. Yeah.
Well, glad you're all in one piece. Even picked up an, I guess, a spare. Missing a certain individual. But
yes.
to be fair, I'm not a big fan of high elves in general.
Just want to look at the group. Shrug. We all know, but I'm not going to say it.
I mean, some are great for business, don't get me wrong. But they've got their eye on the prize, and sometimes a little bit too much. I've had a couple of individuals who were so interested in money that gave them a job and they tried stiffing me. That didn't happen again. But nevertheless, I would have to congratulate you all for facilitating such a wonderful business relationship. Thank you, thank you.
Oh, we apologize that it took so long, but at least it seemed like it went well.
Oh, yes. Got me in contact with just the right person. I was hoping it was a bit of a gamble on my end, but still. We ended up talking it out. And things should be pretty copacetic from here on in. So again, I have to thank you. Now, as far as what you all are up to now, we separated a bit prematurely. Things had gotten a little hot down there. So I didn't want to stick around for too long, but wanted to discuss possibly future endeavors. Though I see now that timelines might need to be stretched a little bit for you all. You at least came through and finished the job, so this will be taken into consideration, but still, options are plentiful.
What did you have in mind?
Well, I'm not sure exactly what's on your docket already, but I'm sure I might have a thing or two that can go in the same direction.
I have a out of character question real quick. Does he know about like Nori's necklace thing and like the pieces and all that stuff? I mean, I assume he probably does and just doesn't give a shit.
It wouldn't surprise me.
We've never talked to him about it before, but
This is the
That's
longest singular
certainly
conversation that
Okay.
the group has ever had with him.
Okay, so it's not like explicitly been told to him, but he probably knows something. Okay.
Yeah, he probably knows a lot about us.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah. Okay. Just wanted to clarify before I say stupid shit.
We're planning on making a delivery up in Ixian.
Ooh, do tell.
It was a letter that we've
Go
been.
deliver a letter.
Ah, yes, your beloved father. Terribly sorry about that one. He kind of jumps down from the cliff, and as soon as you think he's gonna make impact with the sand, because it's like a 15-foot drop, he like hovers just for a moment before gently landing on the sand. He starts to walk over. He's let go of his tail, and it's now whipping and moving on its own behind him. He walks over and kind of puts his hand softly on your shoulder. Really is hard losing a parent.
I didn't really know him as a parent, though.
Oh, well, in that case, no skin off your back. Anyway, if you guys are going back to Ixian, do you know which route you're going through? I mean, you're headed towards the coast, so I'm guessing you're gonna go by water.
That's what we were hoping to do, yes.
Wonderful.
Rachad just shows him his Mr. Burns picture.
Oh my, you've got quite a little excursion planned. Yes, you definitely do not want to eat the mushrooms in the Cowan clan land. Psychedelic, if you're not ready for it, can be crazy. Let me make sure I've got the right map up.
Rachad has flashbacks of another life.
Ooh, going to
Nori
the...
also gets flashbacks for different reasons.
Ooh, the Vivian Plains. Might dangerous right now, so I definitely would watch your back on that one. Bunch of those nomadic tribes getting up to some shenanigans. Okay, looks like you're going to be traveling through the Bloodgood for a while. That's interesting. You guys are daredevils. I like it. But I will make sure as to not have sent you on any tasks when you go through there. Probably wouldn't get done if I did. Alright, so you're only staying in District 7.
That's the plan, at least for right now.
He kind of goes back to the picture of the drawing, and then kind of like... You've seen him do it a couple times, Richa, as he's been looking at the map that you've handed him as he stands next to you. He kind of winces in your direction, Richa. Almost like a heat is coming off of you, or like a bad smell. Kind of just recoils away from your direction a little bit. And when he goes back to the map, he kind of accidentally leans in too closely, and then you visibly see him kind of recoil back a little harder. I must say, bud, you've got yourself in some sticky situations.
I'll just sort of nod at that.
I would definitely suggest to be honest, not even a few baths will help that one. But they don't hurt.
Just Kaporan, just like leaning in to smell Rachad. Does he smell bad to Kaporan?
Make a perception check.
I did just take a bath like a day or two ago. Whenever I was in my naked self in Norian Bryn's house.
Yeah, actually, there's little hints of lavender to his smell.
He's wincing it. Okay.
Well, Nori's not saying this, but thinking it. We've already met someone who said they could spell magic. That's probably the case with Barnabas as well. And Richa just got himself into some interesting magic.
Bryn, you might find yourself needing to take Richard up to the Lingving pools, because A regular shower is not going to get rid of that stink. Bryn, you know the Lingvi pools as a sort of fountain of youth-esque feature. It's a
In her hometown, right?
It's a semi-myth, yeah, in your hometown.
Okay. Because I'm gonna have to get that out of my notes because I'm not gonna remember how to fucking spell that. Thank you. Okay.
Lynghvi.
Yeah, I got it. I can copy and paste it. I got it in the computer now. And say it one more time.
The Lingvi pools. It's a fountain of youth-esque myth of your people. But nevertheless, I've got a couple options on your routes, depending on how frivolous you all want to get.
2 months back here.
No, that's fine. It's completely dependent upon you how fast you complete said tasks. None of these would be taking you too far off routes, so I'm not telling you to go too far out of your way.
I'm sorry to interrupt your personness, but who are you? And why is everyone just like
Oh, right. Sorry, Rashi.
their head up their butt for you? I mean, you seem important, so I don't mean to be insulting, but like, I have no idea who you are.
Sorry, Rashi.
I'm a bit of their proprietor. A bit of a, some people have called me a quest giver.
Well, we already got a bunch of quests. We don't need any more.
This one is more of, how does people quite say it? So there's always these things called side quests, right? Well, I'm much more of a main quest. No really, passing go and collecting a few hundred trillium without me.
Okay, so you have deep pockets, so your quests become more important.
Oh yes, if you complete said things in record time, there's plenty for the piggy to go around.
Okay, that still doesn't tell me who you are.
I have many names.
Yeah, lots of
These people
have
know me as Barnabas Elrith.
He immediately gets a really angry look on her face.
Yes,
We're
dear.
in-
Stares at
Yes, dear, I'm your
Bryn's gonna be
father.
right next to Matt Rashi.
No, you're not my father. Balar's my father.
Oh, he's your
You
dad.
just happened to birth me.
He's your dad. I'm your father.
No, you just happened to sire me. He's my father.
Well, here, I can take my portion out of you if you'd like.
That would be weird and probably painful, so no.
Oh, okay. Just making sure.
But you do have a tie with my mom, and she needs it removed. If you could do that, please.
Yeah, I've already done that, dear. You're about a day late on that one. But you can tell your special friend that he can try. But it's going to take a lot more than... He kind of looks you up and down. This to scare me.
I don't have special friends, but okay.
And then Rachal's just gonna look over and go, "Well, I never."
Well, no, you're all friends, but no. Rashi just shuts up and looks very confused.
So anyway, it depends upon how many tasks you'd like to take. You said your time frame is about 2 months. I can definitely see you at least traveling this all in about 2 months, but you would be very harried for time. So, I could see if you'd like maybe 1 or 2. maybe nothing too fanatic or egregious. Little things that will get you a little bit a coin in your pocket.
Orange like looking like feeling in his pocket. It's like, I could use some coin.
You have literally never had any coin, but sure.
But Kaporn actually wants to buy something now, so he actually has to. He's like, I actually could use some money right now. Especially if he has to buy alcohol without Bryn knowing.
Well, how about it? Maybe a quest or two? Nothing too hard or dangerous.
I suppose if it won't, I guess, distract us too far off of our original plan.
Wonderful. Now, I see you have a line going through the cliffs. Are you planning on stopping anywhere?
We will probably have to, yes.
In his own voice, I don't remember what he said exactly, but he basically mentioned the bird that, or the person that he sent Hihu to in the bottom island.
Do you remember the name?
He didn't give me a name. He just said that some fisherman guy that on the bottom island, he dropped off Hihu, and that fisherman took him to the big island that I'm referring to whenever I say big island.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I just wanted to make sure before I said a name, I hadn't given it to you already. Okay. Yeah, because I have it down here that Barnabas doesn't know who that is, so I was like, oh, fuck. Did he? Did I accidentally say it? Okay. Oh, you still haven't found your friend then?
Shakes his head no.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. I would hate to have gone so long without knowing how you all are. But in that regards, if you are going to... Let me make sure I got the island name correct before I just spout out some nonsense. Don't want to have to change like all my notes. So if you are going to the Fido Islands, I have someone there you can meet. I haven't gotten my tax in a while from them.
You said 5 Dole Island?
Fido. Phido.
Sorry, thank you.
No worries. There's a woman there, female Goliath. She has an interesting sort of tattoo down the front of her face. Her name's Aneri. Aneri Vathunaku. You speak to her and tell her what good friends we are. And she'll point you in the right direction of the person in particular. Complete that, get my tax, and I'll say there's an easy 3,000 trillium in it for you. Unless you'd prefer gold, I understand that you're moving back up to Ixian.
Kaporn's looking over at Brandon, like, maybe gold?
I mean, gold can be basically used everywhere in Cydia besides the jewel sites. It's hard trying to give value of an item that literally they mine so much of. They could put it in all their food and drink and piss it out if they wanted to. Though I'd think that hurt.
Warren just nods in agreement, saying, yeah.
Yes, gold would be better then.
All right. So 1,500 gold once I collect my tax. It's going to be a parcel. And you can either find me when you get into District 7. Well, that might be a bit hard. If I come across you in District 7, you can hand it off then. If not, Heather and Mira are more than capable at receiving that item whenever you can get around to them.
Barnabas, I do have the ability to use sending. Would it be okay to contact you while we're in District 7?
Oh no, dear. You could try, but you would come across many difficulties in trying to do so.
Warren's like, yeah, probably would be troublesome.
As I am sure you're no doubt aware, he kind of just puts his arms out around him. Magic's a little finicky around me.
Very true.
What is the tax exactly that we're collecting?
Don't worry, dear. It's going to be all wrapped up, and no need to worry about it.
There are dead bodies on there.
Not quite. But if they refuse to give the tax, then no holds barred. I'm not saying kill them, just to be sure and clear about that. But if they so happen to perish from some unknown entity shortly thereafter. Oops.
I was about to say, like, he's just blatantly saying, kill them if they won't cooperate. I was just like, okay.
He's not saying
Kill them,
that.
but don't be obvious if need be.
He's keeping his hands clean. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Nevertheless, that's obviously if you're trying to do all this, and he keeps referencing the map, all this in a 2-month time period, you're going.
Well, I think we planned this, didn't we? Before we were told to come back in 2 months. So
Yeah.
we might have to cut this short.
Well,
Before
you
we-
guys don't have to come back in 2 months. I at least have to come back in 2 months. It would just be great if you
I
guys came
feel,
with me.
Rashi, if we let you travel alone, I know you did it before, but I feel like some being out there that has already seen us, that is going to be marrying your mother, would probably smite us all down, however he might.
I don't know. He might prefer it. He doesn't really like you guys right now.
Yeah, join the club.
Well, okay, he doesn't really like Bryn right now because she said she would keep me safe, and he doesn't think she did her job. I think it was fine. I didn't die.
Well, in any case, we have been charged with making sure you come back, and I would prefer not to just leave you. Since we've became such good friends. Kaporin like stutters on his words right there at the end. Just he's like almost siblings. It's like no, we won't use that word.
She just nods like friends. So sure. She still doesn't know how to kind of interact with Kaporin because he's just a lot. Doesn't hate him like Saren, but like she's just like still like he's so much.
Rachel will just sort of look towards Nori and like point towards her neck and just be like, maybe one?
Yes, we don't have to hit everything right away. I suggest we cut my end of the. Not completely cut mine out, but cut the part that goes away, and we'll be able to make it back before the 2 months.
Well, yeah, like the majority of the burns face is going around the different places
Yeah.
for Nori's space.
Yeah, there are parts of it that we're going to have to skip for now.
So that's one task for you all. I have another if you'd like, but don't want to overwork you.
What's the task?
Well, going off what you all were saying, you would have to cut some things short, so I'd need to know exactly what you're cutting away, so I can give you a proper task. I'd hate to give you something that you decided to skip and then have to say you failed or reject. It doesn't really work very well in my line of work.
I could put two and two together. With the Mr. Burns. So funny calling it that.
What it looks like, you guys.
I don't have it drawn
Can
or
we-
written down where we're going, but essentially the entire the eastern part we don't have to do. Like going into
The
the blood
nose.
good lands again. Just the nose and then dipping into the blood good lands. We can skip all that. We just have to go around the store dance land. That's my only request. Let's not go there.
Yeah, Rachel would even sort of suggest, because we're already going to have to stop in the Bloodgood lands anyways, maybe try for that one. But it's hard to convey that.
Well, I'm sure at this point in time, you guys would like kind of be looking over the map and like talking and conversing. Okay, maybe we can not do this now. Maybe we could do like and trying to figure this out. So
I'm not part of the quest technically, but like I would really like us to deliver this letter because it seems important and it keeps getting pushed back and back and back and back and
Oh, yeah,
back.
no, the letter is not getting pushed out.
Yeah,
No.
it's just we're going to be making stops along the way to doing that. So that's the ultimate plan, is to get up that far. But I guess Rachel would look towards Nori and ask about the names, and ask about what the Bloodgood Clanlands guy's name was.
Pulling up my notes. Just to Rachel, or does Rachel look like he wants me to say it out loud, like for Barnabas, or is he like, what is the name quietly?
He'd ask about it, but he'd leave that up to you, if you wanted to do it either way.
Nori's going to very quietly say Misa Frostu. I think that's right. Yes.
Pretty sure Barnabas is going to hear you either way, just because it's Barnabas.
Yeah, but it's me trying to be a little. Can I try to use my mental thing?
sure.
Oh boy, I don't like that. Sure.
It screams in your head.
Yeah, I won't use it. If we're in a place that Magic is having a tough time, I already know that Trentimir is having a tough time, so I'm not going to push him right now.
Well, Barnabas says it was him, that like Magic's finicky around him.
I would say that
Yes.
instinctually, just like you brought it up and asked, I think instinctually you would probably try because
Yeah.
it's you've never had it not work before, so it's just like a
That is true.
and you just reach up, and then probably like halfway through saying it in your head, you're like, oh shit, wait. But it goes through.
Okay, it goes through. I say that. Just Misa Frostu. Not anything in, not elaborating things, just what Rachel asked for.
He'd sort of look and then point at the X on the peninsula and be like, there, and sort of shrug.
I was given very general locations. The location I was given was the Bloodgood Lands. There are no specifics in that.
No, they're the most nomadic in that region. They're all, I mean, everywhere down here is nomadic, but they move around a lot.
And please remember, I've been told not to get off the boat there.
That was my thought as well. I'm not endangering Bryn for.
So I don't really know if I want to even, if we should even try this little U-turn from here, or whatever that is, the little turn there.
And Cha would then shrug and be like, the cliffs.
Oh, definitely. That one's 100% on our list.
We still need to get to the fishing village because we still need a boat, though. So,
Yeah, fishing village, and then we have to stop at that port, don't we?
I don't remember if we had to stop at the port or not. I thought that we had to for some reason, and then we would like venture out into the Bloodgood lands for the dude. But if we're not
Well-
doing the guy, I don't know if we have to go to the port. I don't remember what the port was.
Supposedly, if I remember correctly, the port had to do with finding the pirates. But I
Oh,
don't remember
yeah.
how exactly.
I think it was just that they might be stationed there at that moment when we get there. Like that's where
Yeah.
they were last
History
seen.
check.
I think.
Rashad.
I've always been horrible at like keeping notes on sessions and shit, unless it's something that's relevant, like names and stuff.
Well, to be fair, the Bloodgood one was a hint dropped before your time.
Yeah, that is true too. But also, I'm really just bad at keeping session notes.
So the original Bloodgood hint that you were given, this was actually before you even heard about Qatar. This port specifically is one of the very few main ports that the pirates offload their catch. So if you were to want to find them at all, this would be a very good port to do so. Second reason for going to this port is the boat you guys are taking to get to this port is just a small fishing vessel. It is not a vessel that is big enough to get to the cliffs. So your secondary reason for going to that port is to charter or get passage upon a boat that is going to the cliffs.
Two birds, one stone.
That seems like a not metaphor for Chaw since you're a bird.
There's two birds in his picture.
It was very morbid of a saying for him, but
He's
Two
like,
birds, one shrimp. Alright, so you guys are cutting out the Avivan Plains, cutting out the Bloodgood, at least the venturing into it. So how are you guys gonna still skirt the Storm Dance lands, going eastwards on your way back down? Or are you gonna go waterways again?
I'd say either would work. The waterways would be faster, but whether or not we
it almost depends on what happens up in Ixia, I would say. Like we might not even be able to come back by normal means.
ominous, but okay.
As in, like depending, it might be easier to go instead of to go from the green square to the yellow square and back. It might just be easier to go from the yellow square down, or something to that effect.
Yeah. It's possible to carry. So the caravan thing, you guys met Rashi at more the end part or beginning part, depending on how you look at it. But like the caravan route sort of like goes like in like a circle, sort of hitting all of the, except for the Bloodgood, like goes kind of through all of the lands in like a big loop. So if we had to go by land, we could come from the yellow square and go down, and we might catch a caravan route in like Featherstone or something like that. But that's a big if. It depends on what time it is when we're in that area for, like, as a character, Rashi to know like whether there would be a caravan we could potentially like, access or not.
Yeah. As for Rashi and her experience, from what you remember, you're guessing in about a month, a caravan is going to be hitting the Citadel in the Featherstone lands.
So yeah, so our route's basically gonna go from the dock to Blood to get a ship to Cliffs, Cliffs to Ixia, green to yellow, then back. Maybe. Sorry. And then we're just gonna either, or if from there, depending on if how Ixia goes, we either cut straight down like this, like straight. If my tool will work straight down like this, basically. I mean, we could use the monument as a guide point.
No, thank you. I have learned more about the Storm Dance lands, and I want to go there even less.
Oh, I'm like not like straight down through Storm, but like in a general, like we're going to go straight down, and if we have to skirt those lands, then okay.
Skirt.
But skirt.
Yeah, I just have 3 places I really don't want to go, but we're not hitting any of them, so yay!
I mean, to be fair, storm dance lanes are more worse if you're in the capital. So if we're at the like, you know, deserty part.
No. Oh, I don't even want to chance anything. My family are a bunch of wizards who have spells to find people.
And we
Okay.
we literally almost ran into the army like twice.
I have defense. I have defense against, because of my wild shape, I have defense against locate creature and locate object, but I've got nothing on scry.
Oh, okay. So you don't want to go. Okay. I mean, I wouldn't want to go there because you know the whole slavery thing. But
that also requires them to like actively be seeking you. Like, and if that's the case, then they're already doing it right now. And I don't know. To be afraid of
just
scry.
like to avoid.
I don't disagree, but Rashi was saying something about going to the Citadel. I got back to Heather and Mirrors on my drawing and then stopped because I didn't know which way we wanted to go from there.
All right.
Yeah, so it looks like I didn't know until you erased the drawing that there was a second green square. I was looking at the one in 5, and I was like, that's a long distance to go. But there's a left one, and that one makes much more sense now. So yeah, I think if we're going up that way, I think it really does depend, like, what happens between like green square and yellow square, and then whether we go back to go by water, or whether it's easier to walk or travel down to Featherstone and catch a caravan and then like ride that back down to the Jewel Rose.
It sounds like our second half of our trip is really iffy.
Mm-hmm.
At the moment. So I think we'll probably should just come back to this after we've completed our task going up to Ixia. To Barnabas' sake, it sounds like if he had, like, I guess in character, at the moment, Barnabas, it seems that our other half of our journey is undecided until we see what we've accomplished in District 7. If there's any in particular tasks that you would like us to get done, then we can see if we can add that to our journey as well.
As you guys have done sort of hashing this out, and you turn to go.
I imagine we were a little faster than we were in session.
Well, yeah, of course. But still, there was some hashing out as you guys had to decide this. I mean, yeah, you guys were hashing it out faster in game, but still had to talk about it and decide these things. As you turn back to Barnabas, he is currently in like a little cabana chair. He's posted up in the sand in the chair. He's got a coconut in one hand, and a small parasol is at the top of the chair, just giving him some shade. And he's just like, "Oh, you ready now?"
Can I have that?
He tosses it to you.
I was waiting for Rachel to ask for the chair so you can try and make a freaking palatine again.
No, he just wants the new helmet. He's gonna throw away his old one.
John immediately takes out his tools to start working on converting it into a wearable coconut. All right, so District 7. Well, as you know, I've got a bit of a presence there. So, unfortunately, nothing needed in that specific time. Maybe if you are in District 7 and I reach out, possibly take something, or possibly send some information down south if you go back to Cydia, I can reach out to you then. But for now, just collecting the tax would suffice. Wonderful. You have the names, you have the locations from where you're at now and what your suspected journey is to be. I guess you'd be in Fido Island in probably a little over a week's time. But to be fair, it's you, so maybe a 2-week time.
And which of these islands is that island? If it's on the map.
It's the bottom one.
Okay.
Wonderful. Like I said, once you get the tax, feel free to hand it off to Mira, or if I reach out to you before then, we'll go ahead and alleviate you of said package. But if they tend not to cooperate, well, do as you see fit.
Kaporn pulls out his loot. He's like, uh-huh.
Do as maybe everyone else seems fit.
Just imagining the Brooklyn Nine-Nine just screaming on him while he's playing the guitar.
Wonderful. He kind of claps his hands and
What?
the chair disappears.
Rucha's gonna pipe up and he'll point at the Fido Island and be like, drop them off with a fisherman of some sort, and be like, which port?
Oh, they only fish at the one single port, so shouldn't be too hard to find.
And he'll just nod at that.
Southernmost. They don't like dealing with the Elven Armada too much.
I didn't mean to color all over the map. I was trying to do an X, but it made a giant circle over the island.
It's all good.
I don't know how to erase.
Pointer tool and then delete.
And he's about to. He claps in the chair, the little cabana chair, disappears, and he's about to kind of like start walking away. And as he walks past you, Nori, he kind of gives you a little side glance and goes, "Not too shabby. Pretty high number on your head."
I figured as much.
You definitely pissed off some individuals.
He sucks.
Don't fathers always do?
Well, he's not my father, so that doesn't give him the permission to do so, and I don't believe he should be doing what he's doing.
Oh, sorry. I thought it was the whole dad, father, father, dad thing. It's interesting the way the two different of you view the father role in your lives, but it's understandable. Your mentor is much more of a overarching parental figure.
You know far more about us than you're letting on, don't you?
I think I'm letting on just about as much as I should to let you know I know more about you than you think you know about yourselves. It's all right. It's more wonderful once you get to read your whole file. Toodaloo. With that, he takes a step and he sinks into the sand, like almost like, and just gone.
How much you want to bet he knows more about my mentor than I do?
All of
I can
money
see why you
on
guys
that.
don't really like him. I don't think I like him either.
Barnabas Elrith, my mentor.
I'm sorry, your mentor's not seemingly a great person.
At that moment, he's like holding up his hands, like one and then the other, and then he just claps.
I have no idea what you're saying, Richa. I'm so sorry.
Barnabas
Richard,
Elrith, my mentor.
Nora, I think he's implying that your mentor might have been Barnabas Elrith.
I swear to fuck, if they were that, I'm going to kill something.
Well, I mean, it seems like we're probably gonna kill a lot of things on this journey, so you'll get a chance.
Why is Val blocking his face?
Because
No
he's trying
reason.
not to laugh, or he's eating, one of the two.
Oh, I don't care if you see me eating.
Oh no.
Look, he's trying not to
This means he's
make
trying
us
not
feel
to.
dumb.
He's trying not to laugh.
He's like, yeah, a lot of bodies are gonna die. Our bodies.
Exactly.
So you guys are here. No threat of creatures around you anymore. The back half of the wreckage is actually slowly starting to get pulled down by the tide after all the commotion that has happened and everything like that. It is no longer as lodged in the sand as it once was. And so now that the water, the front end of it the cork has basically been pulled off, and the back half is still decently full of water. It is starting to slowly slide into its cold, icy depths.
Can I try to cure Richa? Because he's at
Sure.
one.
That's fair. But I have a question.
See.
Did that heat tattoo rune thing work when we got out of the ocean before Qatar? Well, before we talked to Qatar?
Nope.
Or is it no? It's just this time?
Yep.
Just today? Okay. That's fun.
Just around Barnabas.
Does the healing actually work this time or
Yep.
no? Alright, cool.
Do we see any of those crates that we saw earlier, like floating around?
None that are feasible anymore. Kind
Even
of.
if you have water breathing?
How deep is the water?
By the time the conversation is ended, the water has lapped up to your guys' feet, so where you guys have left the wreckage and gone further up. You realize now that that little 15-foot cliff, when high tide is in, water probably goes up to that. And you guys are still a good 20 feet from that area specifically. The ship residing about 40 feet behind you, or at least that's where it was residing. Now it's closer to about 60 to 70. And to get inside of it, you're going to be, for at least all the shorter individuals, probably to neck height of water.
I ask because I'm like looking over. I'm like, damn it, my pole's down there.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, no, your pole is still stuck in the sand.
It was
Nori's
yanked
gonna go-
into the sand by the thing.
Oh, it's still stuck there. But the front half hasn't moved. So the part that Barnabas pulled away, that portion of the ship and anything in or around it has stayed. As the tide's starting to come in, but it's not enough to take that front portion of the ship away.
Well, I'd at least go to try and see if I can find my pole, and I guess the rest of anything else around if people are coming with me.
Make an
I want to
investigation
help
check.
Richa get the pole.
Warren wants to look for a crate that he can open up.
Make an investigation check. Actually, Kapoor to be perception. Alright. Yeah, Richard, it's, you know pretty much where you had been dragged under sand and fought for your life for quite some time, so you're able to find the location, and then you kind of stick your hand through the sand until you feel the metal pole, and you get the immediate flashback of the pole sliding through the sand and hitting you in the head.
He'll just, while his hand's on it in the ground, say the word to shrink it back to a foot or whatever it is and pull it out.
Alright. Kaporn, you
I
do
guess-
see no crates, but one barrel that seems to be, it looks like it got flushed out with the current, and it's currently floating on the water about 150 feet out. Just sitting there bobbing in the water as like the waves kind of bring it in and then pull it out and then bring it in, pull it out.
Warren looks at Brandon's like, can I?
I feel like you already know the answer, or no? I feel like you already know what the answer is supposed to be there.
But I'm trying to ask, like Rashi suggested.
Actually, that was Rachar that suggested that.
Still holding the rod in his hand, he'll look at Kapiron's like legs and go, "Can you?" in his own voice.
Yeah, you might be a little too slow to get over there right now.
Warren's like, where there's a will, there's a way. But
Dimension door.
Kapoor. Should I even? I was just about to think about it. I was like, should I waste it? Should I do it? Yeah, I mean, more than like just begging Nori to go to grab it for him. He has no, or if she could vine whip, or I was gonna say vine whip it in.
Farther than 30 feet, isn't it? And I have bad track record with that spell.
Yeah, it's farther than 30 feet, and most likely she'll yeet it further into the ocean.
As soon as I level up, I'm getting rid of that cantrip.
In the front half, like, does my investigation also entail like the tarp and this other stuff that was up front?
Yeah, unfortunately, in the front half of the thing, it's just a bunch of seaweed that was the creature was using as a camouflage, and then it's just a bunch of canvas that is an extra. It looks to be like an extra mainmast sail that is shoved up here, but nothing else beyond that of any note or value. Like a few pieces of rope, but it's not a coherent, like, long section of it.
How much weight would that canvas be?
Oh god,
Just
that shit's heavy.
Yeah,
You're
I figured
looking
it would
at like
be.
at least 120 pounds.
I mean, I could fit it into the bag of holding if I really wanted to just have a spare mast.
What would you do with it?
When he makes his little chariot, it will also be wind powered.
I mean, it's not that he's a hoarder; it's that he likes to craft things. So he's
also
there's
a
things he
bird
can
who
do
are
with it.
technically nesters, so it's like
Yeah,
in his
that's true, too.
genes.
Could Warren take like
Random stuff to make nesting materials with.
Warren take like 4 square feet of that?
Yep.
He just. I'm working on a project and I need 4 square feet of it.
Can
Easy
you
enough to
carry
do.
that much?
What?
Wondering if you have too much stuff for your poor horse.
Yeah, 4 square feet's only gonna like run you about 3-4 pounds.
Yeah, I currently only carrying 88 pounds. I got rid of a lot of stuff after certain events happened about the ocean.
Fun.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna put down.
All right. So, do you guys anything else you want to do here, or continue on for the? You still have 2 more hours of travel.
I'll do this. What Kaporan's kind of doing. I won't take the whole thing, but I want to take like enough to make another tent because I kind of broke our last one.
Okay, it's not. This type of canvas material is meant to be decently waterproof, or water resistant is the better word for it. And the water that does seep into it kind of makes it stronger, and that's why it's good sail material. But as far as like a tent goes, it is not insulating at all. So you could definitely use it, and it would be great in like rainstorms, but anywhere cold, it's not gonna help. And if fire touches this stuff when it's not soaking wet, you got kindling up the wazoo.
I guess we could also use it for kindling.
Yeah, I was gonna say that makes me want to throw it in fireballs.
Well, I mean, it's not as good as like just getting dried leaves and putting it in your tinderbox to dry. So, I mean, you can if you want to, but it's just that middle ground of that type of material.
He'll hold off on it then. He won't take any of it.
I mean, if you took enough to maybe triple, quadruple layer it, then you could.
And that's pretty much going to be all of it at that point then, because it takes like 50 pounds to make a 5-person tent or whatever it is, isn't it?
Oh, you want to make the large tent?
Oh yeah, I would. We don't exactly have tiny hut anymore.
No,
I have.
Caporan got it.
Oh, I didn't. Well, I wouldn't know that. He's never cast it before.
Well, the main the main weight for the large tents is all the support structure and oh god, what are they called? The stakes, the metal stakes. Like all that adds up very quickly. That's pretty much half the weight. So if you ended up taking about like 75, 80 pounds of this stuff, then you could probably eventually fashion it into a workable tent material.
I'll work on it. Yeah, I'll take that. I only have, if I haven't actually calculated it, but I would imagine my bag of holdings only up to like maybe 120 pounds.
Yeah, you got a
At
bunch
best.
of lot of small things in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so go ahead and put that down.
Does
All right.
people still need healing at all? Or did I blank out on that conversation? Because my brain is like defocusing randomly.
I mean, I'm hurting, but I wasn't hurting like Rachaw, so.
Oh, then
I'll
Nori
do it.
would. Yeah, we're gonna heal up Bryn some.
Rashi's
Richard,
gonna
did you really only have
run
1
over to
HP?
Richa. Yes, he did. I found out I can click on your guys' character sheets, so I was looking at people's
Exactly.
things 'cause
I wasn't
curious.
I wasn't gonna say that I was at 1 health, but yes, I was at 1 health.
He was looking
there's some
pretty
to Bryn.
That's much better, thank you, Nori. She'll kiss your cheek.
Caporan,
Now Rachaw feels bad because he didn't kiss her, so he's gonna kiss her on the other cheek.
I'm gonna heal Richa with a third level
Confused, she
cure
looks at
wounds.
Richa. It's like, you didn't need to.
As soon as that happens,
Okay.
just a sharp beak on the other side.
Ow!
You didn't want cheek piercing?
That's much better
Love
noise. It
hurts.
is Bryn's voice.
Sorry.
He'll look towards Rashi and do the same thing, like that's much better, and then pick her on the cheek.
So I cast it twice on you, Richa, so you healed for 32 points.
And Caporan's over
And
here talking
Does
to himself.
Richard like peck her twice or just once?
I imagine you like never really let go after the first one and just like double pumped kind of thing. So he just do it
Phrasing,
after you were
jeez,
done.
phrasing. Rashi
Did the
will
attack?
kiss him on the other cheek.
I meant the double pump as in like a CPR pump.
No, yeah, I know. Rashi is kind of confused, but she like kisses you back on the other cheek.
What are these
Everyone's
going
kissing.
where it's going to? I'm so
That one's for Bryn again.
And the 2 I did was for me because
Yep.
Caporan is just over here by himself healing himself.
Lonely. I'm so low.
Nori might be slightly biased.
Just a little bit.
Slightly.
I mean, Rashi was basically mostly trying to protect Richa much of that fight, so she saw him get beat on, so she would know like he's hurting.
Oh yeah, yeah, we all saw that.
Literally eaten alive the entire time.
Nom 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 nom.
Technically,
Munched
I
on.
don't think Bryn and Caporan saw most of that.
We just saw him pop out looking so hurt.
Bryn saw Caporan like get his ass eaten like twice.
Wow, I don't think anyone wants to see that, Kaporan.
No.
Phrasing.
And Nori's sitting
Caporan
here at
What?
63 out of 66, so we're happy.
Yeah, I'm gonna cast a second level cure. Kind of hurting.
I'm gonna save some spells.
Well, Richard's at full health at this point, so thank you guys.
Oh, cool beans. Yeah.
Just be glad that you guys weren't underwater the entire time, or else their bites regenerated.
Oh no!
Their
Yeah.
bites regenerated?
Yeah, they would regenerate half their damage in HP.
Uh, water creature benefit, I guess.
Yeah,
All right, let's.
it's called blood
let's
in the
just
water.
Keep going.
Alrighty then. So you guys continue on towards the small port town that Balar had told you about to possibly get passage onto a fishing vessel. All right. So as you guys are traveling, with your bit of delays of the conversation as well as the fight, night overtakes you sooner in your travel to the location, but by the end of the 8 hours, you guys find yourselves. As you were told, this isn't a village per se. This isn't its own village. This is just the port that they use for their fishing vessels. The port is about an hour and a half to 2 hours away from the actual village itself. But by the time that you guys get here, dusk is heavily upon you all, and you have a number of fishing vessels that are starting to come in. They've done the last bit of their fishing. Best time to fish is at sunrise and at sunset. So the last haulers have finished with their catches and are coming in to offload. As far as like a nomadic or being down here in the general Kimberlands themselves, this is the one of the few times where you're seeing heavy stables with large amount of horses. There isn't a town attached to this port. It's more of like a couple of hunting lodges, maybe about 4 to 5 buildings, and altogether about 25 horses, most connected to some sort of cart carriage or other pulling device. A lot of them already laden with the different catches of the day, and the ones that are empty have been pulled up to the ground side of the pier that goes out for about 35 feet into the water. 4 fishing vessels sit there, being at the dock, with only one being currently offloaded at this point in time. Seems the rest have at least taken everything off the ships and are fixating on their caravans to take it to wherever they're taking it. But you guys arrive. The stables are open. There are plenty of rooms for more horses to rest and relax, as well as hitching posts and troughs to lay food and water in. People kind of clock you as you're coming in. Obviously, Duragar here. But you guys are pretty... Well, none of you are Duragar, so that's the first kind of red flag for them. Second, you guys are coming from the direction of Kember, so they're like, this is doubly weird. Like, if you were coming from the north, understandable, but you're coming from Kember. Okay. No one talks to you right out. No one's coming up to you being like, "Hey, what the fuck you doing here?" They're just more kind of like, as Rashi would have had dealings with in the past with certain of the Durgar towns, if the stables are open, you are feel free to take your horses in, get them rest. The beasts of burden for the Durgar that actually get used are highly valued between the nomadic towns and the heavy mine beasts of burden that have to carry truckloads of minerals and such back and forth. They are their bread and butter. They are their modus operandi. They are basically, without them, stuck. So the horses are always taken care of, and no one will ever say anything against you stabling your horse if you need to. So as you guys get there, following Rashi's lead, because this is more just muscle memory at this point, she'll immediately go take the horses to the stables and get them unsaddled, start the brushing procedures. People give you the eye, but seeing Rashi kind of instinctually do this calms them to a degree. Being like, okay, well, at least they know our customs and they're taking care of their horses. Okay, we're not gonna try and drive them out, but we're not gonna obviously go up and
Racha
talk to
will
them.
mimic Rashi's actions and work with Auga.
You named the horse.
Yeah, I feel like we're all brushing our horses down, all that fun stuff.
Would love to know where a train came from in this world.
Yeah, if you guys didn't start following her, she would like motion to you to like follow me, like do what I do, kind of thing.
Yeah.
What was the lady's name that we were looking for? It was like Ice Cloak or something was her last name, but I didn't catch the first.
Like, Verlato. I have it in here. I have it sounded out, and I have it written completely, and I still can't fucking say it.
Drop it in the chat.
Ver Dotalin Ice Cloak. I know the last name is Ice Cloak.
Yes.
Because Ice Cloak was cool, but her first name is
That sounds
special.
that sounds right to me. I have a weird knack for remembering the way things sound. Yeah,
Vera Dotalin, yes.
because the W's are V's because we're German. Once we're done with the horses, and I know that takes longer than like 5 minutes because you have to brush them and make sure that they're fed and stuff. Is there any sort of inn type looking place or like a person like close by still kind of watching us, or is everyone kind of gone about their nighttime business?
Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Kaporn is currently braiding Silver's hair.
Okay, I rolled, but I don't know if it showed up yet.
It hasn't even popped up in roll. Oh.
There it goes. I mean, a couple of people are keeping an eye on you, just because you guys are different looking than what they're used to seeing, especially in this portion. In a big city like Kember, Bagram, those things, a little bit more likely to possibly see non-Durgar people. But here, not even in a town, this is just literally a small fishing port. Interesting to
Right.
see.
Right. She'll wave one down, and I know it's under Dwarvish, but I keep wanting to say in Duragarin because I feel like there would be a name.
Duragarian?
Like that. Yeah. She'll wave at one, and she won't move because she doesn't want to startle them, but she'll hail. We're looking for Vera Dottle and Ice Cloak.
You just kind of like, as you start to wave them down, the one dude who's kind of like overtly staring at you guys as he's been brushing his same horse like for the last 30 minutes, just watching you all do this. You wave over and start to say this, you kind of like, and then you say that, yeah, Vera, she's on the dock.
Okay, thank you.
Right, and he kind of like goes back to brushing his horse, which you can see his horse has fucking had it. Like, bitch, leave me alone. I want to go to sleep.
Like, I mean, there is such a thing as overbrushing your horse.
Yeah. So he's just the horse is like kind of just succumbed to letting this happen until they're done, but you can tell it's antsy and it just wants to lay down next to the other two horses that are next to it that are sleeping.
So he said that she's at the dock, so might want to make our way down there as unobtrusively as possible, but we're all gonna stand out because they don't really get foreigners here.
I hadn't noticed. Yes, we'll follow you, Rashi.
Oh, okay. Well, it's a good thing I said something then.
I'll be here brushing Silver. I want to finish braiding. I don't even remember if we checked if it's a boy or girl. If it.
Just say my horse's hair.
We're just braiding my horse's hair either way.
Oh no,
It's going to become
That's
a
very on
competition
brand
of
for
who
Thorn.
leaves. It's the competition of who leaves first, Coparin or the other dwarf that's brushing his
Both
horse.
just awkwardly brushing their horse. It's gonna be the point
Both
where the
horses
other,
getting increased.
where the Duergar is just looking at Kaporin, and Kaporin's like, "Wait, I never checked," and then goes to like look underneath the horse, and then the other Duergar will be like, "The fuck?" And just the Duergar just walks off like, "Nope, I ain't fucking with them."
I'm glad I left an impression.
Oh yeah.
I feel like you always do. I feel like you don't need to worry about that.
Yeah, it's whether the impression gets us in trouble or not.
But
Baron leaves an impression.
you start making your way down town. Start making your way down towards the little pier that's here and the ships that are docked there. A couple people are milling about, and interestingly enough, as you're traveling here, you guys realize you're not the only non-Duergar here. There is a Goliath individual who's just kind of standing by the front of like where the pier meets the sand and everything. Standing not directly in the way, off to the side a bit, kind of just staring at the ocean, just not really paying attention to too much or anybody really. A couple of the Duergar people who are offloading the last boat are kind of. The pier here is not super large, so as you guys start to move onto it, they're coming off at the same time, and it's that whole like left, right, left, like little shuffle dance that everyone likes to do whenever they try or not to, until someone gives in, just like, okay, fucking go. And so they're just both between the two of them carrying a very thick, large net full of fish, probably 300 to 400 fish inside.
Yeah. I mean, Rashi would move to the side to let them go first because that looks heavy.
But going towards the end of the pier, towards this ship, you see about 3 individuals who are standing on the pier itself, and the 2 of them are facing the one that has their back to you at the moment. But moving up towards it, kind of letting them finish their conversation. The one that has their back to you looks to be a woman. Very long, braided hair that goes down to about the back of the knees. It is gray with white stripes throughout the braid. And she herself is wearing, looks to be a, not thick leather jacket, but a almost windbreaker-esque type of looseness to it, and some like white, very light tunic pants inside and tucked into her boots. You guys are close enough to hear the conversation, at least you are, Rashi, because you can understand it. And she's basically going off on these two for, it seems that once they got into port, they immediately took off from the ship to go do something, and she's berating them for taking so long, and that's why they haven't offloaded their catch yet. It's because they're down 2 individuals that just decided to fucking go somewhere, and she's asking what the fuck was such an emergency. And the 2 guys are starting to heavily blush and not look her in the eye, and they start to murmur something. And she's like, well, fucking what? Speak up! Sorry, man. It's our anniversary today. Ah, fucking keep it in your pants until you're done. Yes, Ma. Yes, Mom. I'm sorry. And then the other one who's kind of a little bit more relaxed at the situation, he's like, well, technically it was in someone's pants. Ah, fucking Ryan. Yes, this one's name is Ryan. Fucking Ryan, what is it with you and just fucking get the fish off the ship already? And the one that's a little bit more sheepish kind of just nods quickly and turns around and goes to the ship. And Ryan is just kind of like, Mom? And kind of just turns around and does a little Popeye walk back to the ship. And she just kind of stands there. Big, heavy sigh. You see the shoulders and the diaphragm just lift and then release. Scratches the back of her head where the braid is at. Starts. Fucking horny as teenagers, I swear. And she's about to turn around and start walking, and then she like notices a bunch of feet and people in front of her, and she like looks up. Is there something I can do for you?
S- e- well, okay, sorry, my thing is being weird. Are you Vera Doddle and Ice Cloak?
Um, Technically, yeah, that's my full name, but unless you want to get a broken jaw, I'd stick with Vera.
Yes, ma'am. Um, uh, we were looking for ship passage up to the port of Bloodgood, and Balar said you would be the person that could help us.
Bala said, huh? Well, you can go ahead and fucking tell Bala this is the last fucking favor I'm doing for him. I swear. Guy covers your loan for a gambling session one night. Thinks he owns you. Anyway. Do you know what port in Bloodgood you're going to?
And she looks at Bryn because she does not know.
And Bryn doesn't understand.
Bryn, what port are we going to in the Bloodgood?
We don't have a name for it. It's just the tip of the peninsula, correct? The port on the tip of the peninsula.
It's the port on the tip of the peninsula, the main big port. I'm guessing since it's on the tip.
You're going to Arya Bridge. Alright. Since it's for Bala, I guess. Well, our catch was good tonight, so we can skip a day of fishing. It's gonna take about 2 days worth of travel. How many of you are there?
There's 5 of us, but we also have some horses. I don't know if that's possible to bring them up with us.
If you got horses for all of you, or just like 2 horses to a cart or something?
Well, technically we have a pony, a draft horse, and then 3 regular horses.
Yeah, sorry, love. That's a bit much. Horses on these type of boats don't like to really stay their peace, and though my ship is grand and what I need it for, it's not the best when you've got some giant individuals on board kicking and swaying and moving for no apparent reason. Kind of gives us a little bit lopsided, you understand?
Yes. Would it be possible to stable them here until we return for some, like, fee or something?
Well, you gotta understand that this port isn't really run by any individuals besides the fishers, and if weather doesn't allow for fishing, then no one's even gonna be here. The stables here are mainly just for if you come in late from a catch and you have to stay the night, or during the day when you're out fishing. No, we ain't like no big city. We don't have much of in the way of comforts like that. Best I can offer you is possibly selling your horses to someone here that's maybe in the position to buy. You've only got about 2 ships left from besides mine that their crew's still here, and I don't think they need any more horses.
Hey, Bryn, we can't take the horses with us. There's not enough. They're too big and heavy, and they don't have a like permanent stable. So we would have to see if there's someone here that could buy them, because no one really lives in the village per se, unless they're fishing or they need to like spend the night because they just came in late. So we would have to
Figured that would
see
be
if
the
there's
case.
Yeah, I
someone
think
that would sell them.
I at least thought that's what we would do. Because I figured it being a fishing vessel wouldn't be able to fit all the horses.
Yeah,
So,
hers is the best fishing vessel, but it's still primarily
oh,
for
I
fishing.
believe it, but a fishing vessel is definitely not the same as something we've been on before.
Yeah,
That helps.
mine might be the easiest to resell, so to speak, because it's made for pulling carts. But I don't know about the pony and the actual horses, and I don't know if Kaporin's gonna want to part with his after its hair.
Oh no, we're gonna have to break it to him.
We would have to find someone who might be interested in buying them first before we even break the news. But it's gonna take about 2 days travel. It's called Auerberg. I know I'm butchering that, Val. I'm so sorry.
Our bridge.
Oh, see, I told you I butchered it. No, sorry, Ara Bridge. Ara Bridge. That's the big port.
And Vera speaks in common. Now that you guys have discussed a little bit, it might be in best interest to possibly. And she slowly speaks in common. It's not her native language. Find the word. You ask one of the caravans, pay them to take your horses to town, and then there they can be stabled. But how long will you be gone?
Probably at least a month or so. We have to be back for Valar's wedding, so we have to be back in at least before 2 months is.
She speaks in Under Dwarvish to you back again. Oh, that fucker finally gonna get married now?
Yeah, he's marrying my mom. Actually, I'm very happy.
Oh, well,
and
congratulations.
Thanks. I mean, he's always been like a father and a dad to me, so I guess it was probably inevitable. But
So you must be Roshi.
oh yes, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm Roshi.
Nice to meet you. He, goes on about you every now and again?
Yes, he does. Probably too much. But these are my friends, and I'm traveling with them. I guess he won't let me stay and work anymore.
Well, that's good. Um, for this situation, a month is a long time. Um, I could go ahead and take your horses with my caravan. You could tell Balar that's a bit of a wedding present to him. But you'd all have to pay for the stabling, and stabling for a month for 5 horses. It's not going to come cheap.
No, I mean the draft horse. You guys, I mean, I got that from my commander when I took leave, so he can go back and pull carts or work on a caravan, and that won't be a problem. But there's still 3 horses and a pony.
Well, yeah, if you're going to rent them out or allow them to be rented while you're gone, it probably drop the price down on the stabling a bit.
She's saying all this in under Dwarven again, right?
Yeah, if it's a
just
full
easier.
complete sentence, then it's under Dwarvish.
Okay, I figure. She's just used to like immediately interpreting at this point. She turns to the group. So stabling for like a month is going to be really expensive, but you could rent them out to be used while we're gone, which would sort of offset the costs. And oh, yeah, that's right. Sorry, I forgot we got rid of both ponies.
That was my bad because actually Auga was my pony. So
For some reason, I thought we kept one. So you could rent out the horses, and the Durgar are gonna take really good care of them because horses are really important to like our culture and stuff, and the work. So they're gonna be taken really good care, but it might help with the stabling costs, and it won't be so expensive for everybody.
Let's see why we wouldn't.
She said that she could take them with her caravan as a wedding present to Bella. And she's going to go back to the city.
That would be very helpful. Thank you.
Kind of just nods.
Yeah, I forget I've got to interpret again. I'm like, oh wait, no, she kind of knows common a little bit. It's like broken common, I imagine. So yeah, that sounds very agreeable. If you would be willing to do that as a wedding present, I will make it very emphasized to him. I'm sorry that he's been sort of holding that debt over you. And
It's all right. So 5 horses, right?
Well, apparently I forgot we sold the other pony, so it's only it'd be 4 horses and a draft horse. So, but I don't need to rent.
No, it's just 3 horses and a draft horse. Richa and I shared.
All right, so 4 horses. 4 horses for a month. It's about 32 days. You're looking at about 100 trillium for the stabling plus the food.
Are you translating this?
No, she says that in English, in common.
Do we have that much?
Well, when I got the draft horse, I got a bunch of like 30 days worth of food for it, and it definitely hasn't gone through all of that.
Oh, well, that definitely
will
helped.
help a little bit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh wait, I did my math wrong. Hold on.
Oh no.
Hopefully it's less.
Yeah, I misspoke. It's 16 days of feed, so 15 probably because it's eating tonight, and all the other times it's been stabled already, which the cost includes food, so it's 15 days.
You're looking at 300 trillion. That's with food for each horse plus stabling.
Does that include without like renting them out to work, or?
Yes, that's without renting them out to work.
And then how much would it be for renting them?
256.
And then if we include some of the food?
Depending on how much food would dictate how much goes down.
I mean, Rashi would include all the food for hers, since it's a caravan horse anyway.
Yeah, if you guys...
I had Saren's horse, so it had Saren's food on it. I don't know how much there was, so
I would say
insert amount he had.
12, just to make it easy.
Okay.
Kaporin said his horse has 20 days worth of food.
Yeah, if you guys want to pool all your amounts together.
Okay, so 20, and Rashi has how much?
15. I'm subtracting tonight because when we stabled them, we would have probably made sure that they were eating when we took care of them. So I would.
Nori, how much
subtract
do you
again.
have?
12 apparently.
Okay, and Bryn and Richa, I'm adding them up right now.
Racha sold his because he doesn't have a horse. Just
Richon
a-
never picked up any. He's just mooching off you guys.
I don't actually have it in my inventory anymore, but I know I had extra for them because I know I went and bought before one of our
Yeah,
treks somewhere.
I'll just match the highest amount we have so far, so an extra 20.
So that's 67. 67.
You're the one adding it. Why are you asking?
Oh no, I'm saying so it's 67.
So
that
I'll
would be
bring,
16, about 16 days each for everyone.
we'll bring it down to 180 trillium.
Hey,
That's much
haggling.
That is a huge chunk down. Well, Rashi has 37 trillion on her because she bought and has covered stuff for people, and I don't know what anybody else has on them.
Are we
Problem with
paying
Nori
right
is
now?
that-
I thought we were paying when we got back.
Are we paying now or are we paying
Yeah,
up
this
front?
is all paying up front.
Yeah, no, we would have to pay up
Like
front
a
for
hotel.
that.
Gotcha.
sure.
Well, Richon would put in 50 then.
I mean, I have 106 trillion. I also have the platinum. If she'll take that.
Yeah.
I'm bad with conversion rates, so I have 37. However much you guys want me
Just
to put
keep
in
your
for that.
trillium. Just keep your trillium. I'll give her. I'll ask. Will you take platinum instead?
She nods.
Double checking. 180 trillium, 90 gold, 9 platinum.
Hmm?
Over 9 platinum.
All right. She takes that. She walks with you guys and asks which one's yours and makes a note of it. She says that our caravan's going to be leaving in probably an hour or two. No need to saddle your horses again because they're not going to be ridden. But you guys can take the last cottage on the right. That's her crew's cottage. And you guys can stay there overnight.
Is there, on her boat, is there a sail or a crow's nest?
There is no crow's nest, but there is a sail.
Can I fashion her a crow's nest?
It's not that thick of a mast.
Alright.
Yeah, it's a double sailed fishing vessel, but the sails are nowhere as big as any of the larger vessels you guys have been on.
I will settle on the roof then.
She allows this. There is a chimney that works as a perfect perch. Just nobody's
Are you
lighted
blowing
up.
smoke up my ass?
Not yet. We'll get there. Okay. So she tells you that they'll be venturing off early in the morning at sunrise. So feel free to do whatever you like, but if you guys are on the boat, you're on the boat. If you're not on the boat, you're not on the boat. She's like, she's already going to take a day off of fishing. She's going to set some stuff up while she's going, but she's taking like a full day off of fishing to do this for you guys. So if you guys aren't there the time that she should be leaving, and that's going to slow her down on her return trip, she's just going to fucking go.
Well, we've got our cock-a-doodle-doo bird that wakes up at the crack of dawn, so I think we'll be okay.
Also, Rashi wakes up super early too, I would imagine.
The crack of dawn might be a little late too, in all honesty. So, 'cause it's a fishing boat.
Yeah. She also points to the Goliath individual and says, they're going to be going with us. So, he's going to be staying in the cottage as well, taking the first floor bedroom, but shouldn't be a problem. He's going to the Bloodgood lands as well.
Fine.
It's a good thing he's not an orc, because then we'd be like, shit, is that the person we need to, like, murder?
No, Nori's necklace would have went off by now.
I was gonna say, would
Yeah.
we even
Oh,
know?
okay.
Because Nori's necklace is like dead.
It's not dead, it's just in pain.
Hibernation mode?
Yeah.
Do not
It's in-
disturb mode?
Data saver, low battery mode.
Yeah, we'll let him be on low battery until I can. It's so dark that I'm just like, I guess I have to murder someone. I'm not a fan of this, but it has to happen.
Like, are you? Is
Does
it
it does it have
like
to be you?
freeing? Is it like freeing like something inside of them, where you're like not technically murdering them? You're like,
Oh, it's like you.
Believing-
No. It's just,
You-
I'm just
by
killing a
force?
man.
oh, okay. I mean,
But
But can
no,
it be
I do not have to be
next
the
you?
one that kills him.
so we could
Or
like
woman.
insult them and get them to attack us
woman.
first, and then when we defend ourselves, it's not technically murdering because like they attack us first.
Well, I mean, they might attack us first anyways, because Nori's got the thing. So,
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
So,
Well, then it's not. Again, it's not technically murdering if we're defending ourselves.
I love how we're debating if it's murder or not.
the ethical
I'm not
concepts
debating
of
anything, I'm stating the
war
facts.
over resources.
I'm
Yeah,
just
exactly.
imagining us walking back, just talking, just like, yeah, murder.
So am I going to have to kill this person? Well, maybe you can just instigate the fight.
Make a bet and gamble for it. Let's see what happens.
Vera's just like,
Well, well, the other people I've met who have done this, it's been a part of their body, and it's just like that doesn't sound like it can be safely removed.
Yeah, I don't think
mean,
we
it
would have
depends
this
if
conversation
it's like
in
in a
character,
different,
but
if it's in a different
Yeah.
part of their body. Like, what if it's in their palm? You can just sever their hand. It's not necessarily killing
yeah,
them.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, if it's there, I'll just try to sever the hand. Because
but
with
if it's like
me,
Grim does it
embedded
with
in
their
their heart,
flamethrower,
though, then you
they
kind of have to.
cauterize already too.
Yeah, that's true too.
it's going to be interesting to say the least. And I've been wondering about something, that if the necklace, can I try to slip my finger beneath the stone? Does it allow me to do that anymore?
no.
So is it
Make
connected
a
to me?
investigation check.
It's like fused into your vocal cords. That would.
It wouldn't surprise me. That's 16. That's not terrible.
You try to slip your finger underneath, and it's not fused into your vocal cord, but it is melding with your skin.
Yeah. Yeah, I figured this would happen eventually.
It's not fused yet.
But I don't know how to get the necklace to go down, because Tiva, they had it down on their chest, and that's when I originally got the necklace. It was a necklace and not a choker.
Give me a
And
history
one
check.
day yeah. Oh boy.
I mean, you could.
I'm
maybe
gonna roll
ask
way
them
worse.
nicely.
I did roll way worse.
Luckily, this is a thing you should know from your backstory. You never put it together until this is starting to happen to you now, and your interactions with other people who have pieces, mainly Kazariak. Yes, she always wore it loosely on her chest, but in the spot that you saw it, when it was up against skin, like the days she was wearing, the low-cut stuff, you saw many over time, same location scarring that is long healed. Looks like it kept getting cut out of her. Putting this
Oh,
together,
no.
you're guessing that it was trying to fuse with her over time, and anytime it got close, she would cut it out.
Oh, she would forcibly cut it out.
Yeah. Before it
But
got
I can't do that.
It's too late for you, baby.
Oh, so fun. So fun. So I might as well just like cut the necklace at this point.
You could if you want to.
It would make hiding it kind of easier. I wouldn't be able to see the necklace from behind.
I mean, the only pressure point is really on the throat, though it is like a choker-esque. The strap isn't tight at all.
I mean, right now you're wearing a scarf, so no one can see it.
Yeah, that's the point. Oh,
And this is going off your interaction with Kazariak, how you saw it deeply embedded into his chest. And
Yeah.
JJ in the eye.
Oh,
at least it's not in my eyeball.
so you made Pegasus from Yu-Gi-Oh
Yet.
come to life in this realm. This piece of the Millennium thing is in his eyeball.
The Millennium Eye.
Next, we're gonna find one like attached to someone's forehead.
Right, exactly.
Possibly.
It's
wouldn't
it's
surprise
like
me.
bad Captain Planet. They all have like various power rings and various.
If someone had it
body
in a circlet, it could definitely be in a forehead.
We're gonna meet a person with a circlet? Who knows? All right. I guess it's bedtime so we can wake up on time.
Yes. I would like a long rest personally because I'd like to get my spells back.
Richa, before going to bed, would search for any stray wood that doesn't seem like anybody's planning on using it to see if he could try and make his own fishing pole out of stuff.
Okay. I mean, there's driftwood. There isn't so much, like, loose planks anywhere.
Yeah. He'll probably just ask for the one, or like maybe a net wall on the boat, then never mind.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, as far as, like, any sort of loose plankage that would be here, most likely be for, like, ship repair. So, if you tried fucking with it, someone might say something, and it's most likely already, like, being ready to get either loaded on or loaded off of a ship, so probably best not to.
I'm just excited I get to potentially use my background feature.
All right, so you guys want to head to the cottage and settle in for the night?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, please.
Okay. Going to the cottage, it is very ramshackle in not only appearance but construction. It's not a resort. Yeah, you can tell just by the way everything looks, is, and was constructed that this is literally meant just to be a better option than a tent. And though there are two levels to the cottage that you guys have, the bottom level seems to be a smorgasbord of dirty clothes, kind of just thrown in random directions. Seems to be one main living area in the bottom portion with a single room attached off to the side, and most of the sleeping is done on the second floor. This first floor has about 3 tables, like a kitchenette, not really a kitchen. There's no wares in here, no food or anything like that. Altogether, there's like 4 cabinets. It's not very bachelor pad-esque. But going up to the second floor to the rooms, it's just simple cots, nothing fancy. Altogether, there's about 12 cots separated between 3 rooms. There's bedding material. You're not sure what type of hide it is, but that's your blankets for tonight, if you'd like. There is a chimney that's open to the first floor. It too is very ramshackle in appearance and construction. It's gonna be fun for Richaw to see if it supports his weight. But nevertheless, this is your guys' abode for the night. It's free, if that means anything. Richaw, you're going on the roof. Are you going on the chimney?
Well, if it looked like it wasn't gonna do very well with me on top of it, he'd probably just use it as a windbreak, more or less, and just nuzzle up next to it.
Okay. Easy enough to do.
If you said the cots kind of, do the cots look worn down or something, or it just looks ramshacked kind of thing?
I mean, the cots look used and decently old. This isn't a constant stay, so it doesn't seem to be upkept very well. There is a pile of blankets or hides in the corner of different shapes, sizes, and thicknesses. You can tell some of them are meant to be more of a cushion to sleep on, while others are meant to be blanket-esque. So there's plenty of stuff here to make a semi-comfortable sleeping arrangement, but it's not the best stuff.
So if you have a bedroll, you can use that too, right?
Yeah, you could definitely use that.
I don't even own a bedroll.
Rashi has a bedroll because it's part of her equipment as a cleric, but also her background is like caravanning around. Like you need something to sleep on.
Kaporan just kind of takes like the largest or thickest roll he can, kind of just lays it on the ground. He doesn't really want to sleep on any of those cots. Finds a nice corner of the wall that doesn't look like it. Like he has trust issues with sleeping in places now because he's been robbed, and he's just gonna be like, if you need me, I'll be in my hut, and just cast tiny hut around him to cause like a little dome, just a dome of protection.
Nobody else is allowed. Wonderful.
Exactly.
If you ask.
I was gonna offer him my bedroll if he was gonna lay on the floor, but geez, I don't know if I want to now.
No, my hut.
Exactly.
My air conditioning. There we go.
He's just sad we had to take away his horse after he did a beautiful braid job.
If you attempt to walk into it and see if you're allowed into it, you're more than welcome to try.
All right. So you guys bed down for the night. You guys all chilling in the same room together, or splitting up between rooms?
I don't mind either way.
Do we all fit in the same room with
Yeah.
the tiny hut in the way?
Even with the tiny hut, if you put it off in like a corner, you guys should be fine.
Okay. I mean, I would assume we probably would all stay in the same room then, except for Richaw, who's up on the roof next to the chimney.
Always at the highest point.
Smarter to be closer.
Richaw is secretly a bird cat.
All right.
Cats like to be up high too.
So you guys go to bed, get your long rest, though not the most comfortable of rests. Rashi,
Yes.
during the night, you it wouldn't be so much a dream. It's very eerily reminiscent of the visions that you had gotten in the past. But it's been a while since you've had one.
Yeah, like decades. Like at least a decade.
So, as this happens to you, it feels more like a dream because it hasn't happened in so long. But you find yourself on your back on rock. You open your eyes and you can feel heat all around you. Not quite uncomfortable heat, but just on the brink of it. You kind of blink open your eyes, and looking up, it just blends into darkness, but there is a red light all around you. You see stalactites coming down out of the darkness in different directions and areas. All of it emanating and refracting this red light. You kind of turn your head side to side and sit up and look around you. You see where the heat's coming from, as lava pools and lava flows crack parts of this seemingly underground cavern around you. You kind of look left and right, don't see any of your newfound compatriots or anybody else in general. Just lava flows crackling over brown and black rock. They seem to endlessly go downward and downward, and trying to see their origination point seems to be way too out of your field of view. Directly around you, you have about 3 different flows of lava that all seem to coalesce somewhere off in the distance. You're in this cavern that, for all intents and purposes, for at least what you can discern, kind of goes at a downward angle in like a V shape. You can see walls on either side, but they're solid. Looking around, you don't see any structures. You don't see any signs of civilization or life. And it's this fact that you're like, okay, I'm in some weird dream. But then you hear tink, tink, tink. Starts off low, but it's almost as if you can see the sound waves of it as it approaches you and seems to echo and get louder and louder and louder before kind of reaching you and culminating to a point where you kind of brace for it, as the echo chamber around you has become so loud with this constant metal on metal sound that it's deafening. And it's constantly happening. And since you're in this chamber, the echoes just compile more and more and more. But through all this, as you're kind of squinting and trying to brace through it, possibly seeing the location of the origination point of this, you're looking around and you don't see anything, but through the noise, cutting through ever so faintly, yet strongly at the same time. Come, child. Though the sound of the metal clanking is everywhere and deafening, the words cut through and you know exactly where it's coming from. Down. So, you start walking. Almost as if you didn't have a choice in the matter, or you did, but it was like you knew what it wanted before the words even finished. And your body just went with it, started going. You're walking, and the way the rock is formed, you have to veer a little bit to the left and to the right, but there's 2 main lava flows that kind of cut you off from going too far in either direction. So you kind of do this zigzag pattern down this rocky shale of a descent. You're traveling this way for what feels like hours. Every time you get to the point where you're just like, man, what am I doing? Or like, you look for a hole in the wall, a possibility of changing or escaping or picking a new direction. You hear, cut through. The deafening metal sound is still going on this entire time. But every time you get that thought in your head to possibly deviate from course, you just hear, "Keep going." And so you do. It's after a few hours of this mindless traveling, trying to find the culmination of what all this means. You see at the very, what looks to be the bottom, the two lava flows, one to your left and right, seem to fork and become four at one point. And then all four seem to converge to a singular point directly ahead of you. At first it was hard to see, but now that you're getting closer, you realize why. There seems to be somebody standing there, making a motion in front of some sort of large structure of some sort that was blocking the view initially. But as you get closer, everything else comes into view, and you start to realize, okay, I've finally reached the bottom. But as it all comes into view, whoever this person is and whatever they're doing seems to get more skewed and more blurry as the closer you get. It's almost like that type of photographic filter where everything in the background's clear, but everything in the focal point is fuzzy. You move closer and kind of wipe your eyes and try and blink it away, possibly trying to fix your vision. But the closer and closer you get, the more obscured and the more obscured it becomes. Until the point where you're standing about 50 feet away, and the heat that's coming off of maybe this individual or where all the lava flows come together is becoming unbearable and slightly torturous to go any further. So you kind of step back and start to breathe the armor a little bit and, try and get some extra airflow going. As you reach that barrier point of it being unbearable, you step back and try and get comfortable. They stop their hammering. They put their hammer down on this table of sorts. You can't see it, it's all blurry. The only reason you know it's hammering is you've heard Balar do it so many times. This individual is tall. I mean, the blurred outline of said individual is tall. Sitting at about 9-10 feet tall. But as they walk forward towards you, they start to shrink and shrink. And as they're walking closer and closer to you, they start to sharpen and come into focus. Until they're standing about 10 feet in front of you. The heat that has been coming off this area cools greatly. You can feel it on the fringes of your sides, but it seems that wherever this individual is standing, it's giving you a brief respite from the heat. And as they stand in front of you, you see what looks to be Balar. His smile wide, his eyes twinkling behind his chubbier cheeks as he looks at you. He speaks, but it's not in the same voice that Balar has. Roshi. You've done well. But you are not done. Your father needs to die. Only then can the second coming happen. Only then will Terra Plane know the god's love once more. This is a terrible burden I put upon you. But I have faith. There is one among you on your world who is not fully embrace themselves. And they can't until he is dead. Your father is the lock. You are the key. Do this, and hopefully, most will survive. Don't. Most will not.
Can I talk in this dream? Do I know if I can talk in this?
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess that you don't mean Balor needs to die, because that seems very cruel.
You hear the laugh of Balar first before it turns into a different laugh. No. The horned one must perish.
Okay. Is there a time frame on this, or just it needs to be done?
Sooner the better. For things are in motion that will not be able to be undone. The Black Hand has already been summoned. When it connects with the body, it'll be too late.
Can I trust my friends to help? Or is this solely me and my own?
You get the flash of the vision you had in the past of the tall, black-haired, half-elven individual that is now part of your group. You will need them to have a chance. You get a flash in the same regards of Richa, but a bit different. He's got a tint of white right around his beak. You see a flash of Brent. Something about her seems off, but you can't tell what it is right away. You kind of focus in on it for just the briefest of moments, because it's only in your mind for but a few seconds. And you've seen some of the runes upon her body, but they are different now. They are all connected. They are no longer separate runes. You see Nori. Much different. The necklace gone, but the crystal has shifted and is now sideways in her throat. You also see that her eyes have turned to a violet color. Many changes are ahead of you. Some wanted, most not. But all of them are needed. Go forth, child, in the name of me. Make sure, when all is done, and you lay the killing blow upon the Horned One, you tell him Mithridates says hello and is waiting. And with that, he starts to turn and walk back towards the blurred out structure in front of you. And as he does so, the visage of Balar starts to go fuzzy at the edges. And the further and further he gets away, the taller he gets, and the blur takes more and more hold until he stands behind his pedestal, grasps the hammer once again, raises it over his head in a thunderous crack as it hits the what you guess is an anvil in front of him. The crack of the sound, as well as what feels like an earthquake at the same time, kind of resounds across you, making you squint and kind of clench against the sound of, and then you kind of open your eyes. Cold night air greets you, drenched from head to toe in sweat, as well as your bedroll. And you're sitting up, looking around at everyone still sleeping. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session, guys.
Well, all right then.
Yeah, I figured that would be the end of it.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know, prophetic vision dreams. Yeah, I took notes and stuff, so that I can take notes on because it's my fucking vision. General summaries I've always sucked at, even in like writing. I'm just like, I don't know how to summarize this, but I took notes on my stuff.
All right, guys.
Well, not my stuff, but like I took notes on how you guys look too. So,
Any questions?
Yes.
I
What do you
mean,
think?
Who am
yes,
I?
there's lots of fucking questions. Yeah, who the fuck is Kaporin? Like, what the fuck is he? No. Apparently, they are related.
Apparently, I'm gonna get purple eyes.
And your thing will change. Your thing changes.
And then Bryn's runes.
Nothing's
Bryn's
set in
runes-
stone.
Bryn's runes are all connect. Well, yeah, he said all the changes are needed, but not all are gonna necessarily be great. Like going through them. So, yeah. You guys will know all of this when Rashi goes, guys, so...
And then blurts it all out.
Yeah, and then goes,
Says everything.
bleh.
So, any questions that I can't answer?
I don't know, man.
Is
What the fuck is Barnabas then at that point if literally the gods want him dead? He's got to be like a fucking bad deity person. That's all I can think. He's
well,
fucking with the balance.
I've got some ideas, but I won't share them just to ruin it for everybody.
I mean, I have ideas from like just you guys talking about him, let alone the conversation that happened tonight.
He literally distorts magic around him. What the
That
hell?
was my word. I'm like, if we're going to fight him, we need to figure that out first.
I mean, yeah. Hopefully, someone else can keep notes on like Barnabas notes or something on like shit we know about him. Or
How
have
to
ideas about,
kill Barnabas.
right? Without even trying. No, I'm just kidding.
Sorry, there is no cliff notes on that one. Sorry.
Murder
Yeah.
Barnabas for dummies.
Yeah, the dummies guide for this
Yeah,
one?
exactly.
Any questions I can answer?
So,
You can
do
answer
you
all of them.
do you want to pick which way I was going with my
Nope,
levels,
it's all you.
all right? I just want to make it thematic and stuff. So,
Yep.
I'm excited to see what Richa becomes.
Yeah, he's gonna wake up something new.
Does Racha age like or like does Kenku have like their own aging system, or does he age like a humanoid, regular humanoid?
It's a little faster than human, I believe.
yeah, I think our
Okay.
lifespan is only about 40 years, roughly.
Yeah,
Okay.
40 to 50.
What's Racha's rough age right now?
21.
20 with some months now.
Okay. I just because of the way that Racha was described with the white, I'm like, oh, that's definitely Racha being much older. So I wanted to
I
get
was
a rough
imagining it
age.
was the tip of his beak. Is it like the entire under
It's
part of his beak?
it's
It's like
right
the
around the base,
feathers.
so right where the beak connects, like right around that is whitened.
It'd
I
be like
get-
feathers, like
I
white
get
feathers.
a
I
bird
imagined.
goatee, is what you're telling me?
Yep.
Awesome.
Yes.
You just have to grow old, apparently.
You
Some
know,
weird
you know,
magical
a lot
thing
of
happens
people,
to you.
a lot of guys, it takes like till their mid-20s before they finally really can grow a beard in. So that's what it is.
This is where we learn that if Racha puts on a belt of dwarven kind, that's what happens with a beard.
Goatee feathers.
It's a feather beard.
Yeah.
All right. So any other questions?
Just the one I sent you earlier. For which tattoo, I guess she would feel the heat from.
Oh, it's the one that you guys signed the contract with.
Okay. Is that one of them that you sent me, or?
Yeah, that is. I'll show you which one it is.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay. Well, nothing else. If you do come up with some questions, feel free to message me. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Don't forget the mini sessions are available now. I don't think I've made it known yet, but we're doing mini sessions in between our main sessions for things people might want to do. Small little things that they don't want to take up time for in the main sessions, but could possibly lead to extra experience, extra money, extra insight. But
Does it have to be things that are related, or could it be like something that happened in the past but is still a mini session?
That's more backstory stuff and can be hashed out, no problem, but obviously wouldn't lead to any new gains now. The mini sessions are really more or less relegated to stuff that happened in the time frame of the main session, but maybe you didn't want to take up main time for. Like, oh, I want to go to a store and buy something. Or, oh, I want to go to a tavern and talk to some people. Or, you know.
Actually, I have an idea for one that currently that would happen roughly before this long rest that we could do at some point.
Yeah, feel free to get to me and we'll work on it. Usually the mini sessions last between probably like 5 to 20 minutes, depending on how intricate things get going. But yeah, it's just extra ways for you guys to do stuff that maybe, you know, in main sessions, it's just like, oh yeah, I want to go buy an extra 50 feet of rope. Okay, yeah, that's easy enough to do. But we can end up doing a mini session off that if you want to take your time and look around, possibly find some things that you would have just overlooked because time-wise you don't want to do every shopping adventure. Or, oh yeah, I stay at the tavern all night and drink until I go to bed. Like, okay. And give you some possibilities at conversations to be had. Maybe learn something new, possibly pick up some side jobs. Who knows?
Warren stealth away.
And trips.
Good luck with that.
So yeah, so we'll be doing that, and if you guys have one or come up with one, feel free to message me, and I'll either yay or nay it. And then if we yay it, we'll work on a day and time to do it. But if I don't talk to you all before then, you guys have a great weekend, and we'll be back on Monday.
All right. Night, y'all.
Have a good night,
All right,
guys.
everyone, have a good night. Thank you to everyone who stayed with us. You all have been wonderful. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time. Actually, he flips the conversation. He goes, "I've noticed a little thing between you and Brett."
What?
Nothing, nothing.
No matter what happens, I want you all to stay together, and I want you to do what you need to do to get out of here. Don't worry about me. Help as you can if you can. But mostly worry about yourselves, okay?
I'm not leaving you alone. You can do this.
If anything happens, I want to know that you will be okay.
I'll be safe.